Moving on to map 2 in the EGF Power Series, coming in here with Blue Hens from Delaware up against Marist Esports, where we just saw a banger on Ascent. Very, very exciting map right there. It was Delaware ending up taking the map after going down very, very early, 6-1 at one point that was. So Marist now having to stay alive in their map pick, which is going to be Haven, Kappa.
Yes, Haven, my favorite map in Valorant. It's uncontested in that sense, and I'll get to exactly why in just a second. But for the recap, Delaware seemed out on a limb. They most certainly did not seem like they had an understanding of Ascent, but they were able to just step back from their own game and really get themselves back into the paddle position, taking that 13-10 map. It was 10-10 at a point, and go over to Haven. I'm very, very interested to see, are we going to see a long, drawn-out game, or are we going to see a team that's just dominant here as we go into map number 2? Agent-wise, what do you want to see out of map 2? Do you want to see some similarities from map 1, Wes? What are you hungry for in Haven?
So I like that the KO is being hovered. I think KO is very powerful on Haven. You know, that information that you can get from KO can be very, very useful. The other thing you're always looking for is a jet, but actually, now that we see Marist starting to lock in, doesn't look like the jet will come through. It's going to be Yellow Bros going on to Reyna instead. Okay. I always love seeing jet on Haven because it's like one of the best maps set up for like huge anime battles up in the air, right? Dashing into C's sight over the cosmic divides. But looks like that's not going to happen, as it's going to be Yellow Bros going onto the Reyna this time. So the single duelist composition here. Kingpin back onto the Astra, incredibly powerful in the last map, and Kingpin was such a threat over there. But we look over to Delaware on the defensive side, and we actually do see a pretty similar composition, but in fact, they drop the Sova this time, and they go for John onto the Sky, whereas Relay, the star of the show last map, goes onto the Rays.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. So it's one of two things. It's map specific. I got this conversation with someone the other day, of which Valorant, there are those map specific agents where you're like, okay, Binds, Haven, classic maps, Rays perform as well here. Maybe not so much on your Breeze, your Fractures, etc., etc. But right here on a map like Haven, you can go back to your beta strats. You've got those strats you've had in your strat book for years now, and you can have some fun with it. I love that race pick, and I think it's very relevant here on Haven. I don't care what people say in regards to the agent selections. Over on Haven, anything goes, Wes. Anything goes.
Yeah, I'm almost a little disappointed actually not to see a Viper. I think Viper can get a lot of mileage on a map like Haven. There's so many things that can be covered. Yeah, I've been seeing it a little bit more often in various regions, and it's kind of it's a fun addition to, you know, like you can play Viper with another controller, and it's very, very impressive. In this case, though, we do see that Astra on both sides once again. Astra is incredible on Haven. There's just no two ways about it. Here comes the knife from KO, and that's going to be Relay not able to put out the utility, but Relay says, I don't need utility, goes for damage instead, and that's going to be Marist getting shut down on that C hit, and they leave the spike behind, Kappa. They are out of this round.
Just give me the goods, give me the loot, give me the gold. Taking it all. Gonna be Delaware. Relay. Of course, Relay. Key in the equation. What is it, 4 versus 2 right now? Hardly any HP being bled away here for Delaware. Barrage push just crumbled so quickly.
Yeah, it's like it's a nice idea. You saw it affected Relay trying to put out that boom bot and wasn't able to. Kingpin though. Kingpin has the flank. How did you get this? And what are you doing, Japster? Jumping around, not paying attention to the flank, not paying attention to Kingpin. The spike has been recovered as they turn away towards the Astra. There's 20 seconds left. They can get all the way to A and plant this. A complete turnaround. University of Delaware has made a huge blunder right here.
It's giving me goosebumps. This is such a crazy rotation. It's all the way from A to C.
Unreal. 20 seconds left, and they pull the trigger. It's going to be the spike down, the setup on short and long for the two attackers on the post plant. University of Delaware try to play together, both coming out through Link, both clearing corners, both realizing nobody's on site.
Turret's up.
48 HP on Johnny. Gonna take some damage. He decides to peek out, and it's Brownballa to get the kill. Safety takes care of it. University of Delaware, they get away with highway robbery right there. That is such a tough situation to play from after you've given up so much. In a round where you were easily supposed to win, Marist almost pulls it back. Delaware, they got to count their lucky stars right there.
Ambitious effort for Marist. You go into your second map, you had a bit of a blunder, right? You were in the lead, 6-1, 6-2 over in that first map. To go into your second map with the great mentality like that says so much about the mindset of Marist. I love it, and I cannot wait to see plenty more really creative strats over on Haven, right? If that's what's happening in Pistol Round, that is a fantastic sign, Wes.
And Kingpin just got all the way up there, sneaking through, just an absolute assassin in the background. And it was Javster, thought the round was over. You saw Javster just jumping around with the knife out, you know, playing around. You got to remember, you're on stream. You're in a tournament, baby. Every second counts. But that said, Delaware still managed to get away with the dub in the first round. It's Relay to start off nicely against the anti-eco. These two teams, I'll remind you, playing in a double elimination bracket right now. And University of Delaware being one map up, will move on to the semifinals if they take this map. Now, these preliminary tournaments are for qualifying berth in the playoff stage of the final tournament, which will be the fourth one for EGF. And that's coming up in a few weeks, so make sure you stay tuned and watch these teams as they compete for that to skip that group stage. Here's Lucky, though, grabbing a kill onto Brownballa. Delaware,
a lot of damage.
Not expecting to lose this round, but definitely not wanting to give up too much. And you can see here's Kingpin trying to find something, but Javster gets the kill.
Got so hurt for that spray down over at Sewers. Help Garage, it doesn't matter. Help sent and no help will be given.
Yeah, Relay there with the judge in Garage. Doling out a few sentences right there. 4-1 on the Rays now. Relay starting off strong as you can only expect it at this point after a 29 kill extravaganza over on Ascent.
Isn't that something? Still riding off the fumes of that. I could even see them just taking this to an 0, and I say that simply based off of you've got to be so gassed up after a first map like that. Very competitive. Sure, it was your map pick, and sure, you probably should take it with a bit more ease, but the adrenaline is going to be surging through your veins right now. Unmatched. The vibe you're going to feel after a dub like that. Time's ticking, and Delaware, they're not giving anything away. They're not even able to peep out a window.
Yeah, and it's a nice position here from the Reyna. Backing off here.
I had a heart attack moment. I thought that was Delaware just flanking off of Long C.
Not quite. No. Still all mates right here. Still all in honest positions. But like I said, Yellow Bros has got a great position here, continuing to work their way up mid. Now finally spotted out. Gets the info on B. Knows that there's some sort of rotation going on, and that does signal Marist to head back towards the C-long position, where they are going to run into Javster. Jump peeking out. Javster gets hit by a stray bullet. Still wants to do more. The gravity well pulling them in, but Javster can't do much up against that, and Kingpin hunts him down. That's going to give them access to the site as John tries to pounce early. John tries to go in on his own. John goes for one, doesn't manage to get the second. Only the Spectre there, but Relay comes through. Johnny again standing strong on the site. The spike is down. Kingpin has taken down Brownballa, and it's only Safety remaining. Safety with a couple of nice clutches last map. Can he get it done again?
Bouncing and abounding into site Relay. Try to do something with that judge there.
No way.
0.0. One. I'm the ticket
down.
The HP plus, and no ticket to glory. Astra trying to do something, but it's a tough spot to be a controller in that situation for a retake.
Yeah, definitely not ideal. We've seen it before, but It's not the highest percentage play. So Safety loses the expected 1v3. They still managed to go to scrape a bye together. As a matter of fact, you got Javster going onto the op. We talked about how Javster was quiet last game, not even cracking double digits on that jet, buying the op quite a few rounds and really not making much happen with it. But on a Haven, can we see a different story, a different look from Javster? And maybe a little redemption. Delaware managed to get it off the back of other fraggers. As I said, Jet not particularly required to win that map at the end. This time you might be.
It really does. To rely on those duelists, Wes, and you know, whatever agent you are, just make it work. Right? I think the more we go through Valorant as a game, you're hearing players say that. Doesn't matter the agent, just click the heads, man.
Yeah, it definitely goes both ways in that respect. The further we get, the more the compositions end up coming into play as well. Particularly that Astra changed everything, right? You know, the combination of the Astra and Raze, of course, combination of the Astra Viper, utility arrangements. Yeah, very, very huge impact on the game. This time, John with the opening frag. Marist goes down to 4, down to 3 is Javster.
30 seconds left.
Keep it coming. Kingpin, though, is again.
Flank.
Again, Kingpin is flanking. And they're not ready, but look at this. Coming around spawn. Might get timing here. Kingpin gets around just in time. John is low. There's the kill. Headshot. Kingpin is revealed.
Kingpin is indeed revealed. You're right. That's such a hard, tricky discipline play. A whiff from Jav. Gets 2, but 2 more to come through from your teammate, Delaware. Picking up the pieces. Jav, recovered as well. And Jav having a way better game so far. I don't care what people say about like an op crutch. It's something that I think needs to be a bit of shame about it in the community of, oh, you're an op crutch player, bro. There was an Ethos video that I watched where he just owned it as like, yeah, so what? And you know what? So what? If you're rocking an op and you're doing it well, keep clicking. And that's exactly what we're seeing here from Jav. Long C, it's locked down right now.
Op crutch, if I can get on my soapbox for just a moment, that has to be the most hilarious insult ever. Like, if you think that, if you're complaining about the op being in the game, I think you might be the one playing the wrong game, my dude. It is just in the game. You got to deal with it.
Preach.
So, op, yeah, the op definitely comes into play in that round for sure. Javster actually did miss a pretty easy one, so, you know, keep an eye out on that. Maybe a little shaky trying to get their bearings back underneath them. But Delaware still 3-1, still in the lead, still on guns.
Yeah. Who's a bit cheeky peeky over at Garage. Nice little one tap beat. Treat as well to be given. Just under a minute left as well, Wes.
Under a minute left, and they've got lots of forward presence. In particular, you can see the Garage presence. Yellow Bros continuing to sneak up, along with Kingpin, who's making a lot of noise here. Relay continuing to jump peak. That's going to be her. The rotation comes through. The wall comes down. Brown ball it to spray it down. Safety is in close. Huge kill onto Kingpin there. The showstopper comes in, but Relay goes down to the Classic. No way. Doesn't get a single bit of value out of that ultimate. Javster is here. 3 versus 3. And the spike is down, but they're in a very precarious position as Javster comes through. It's only going to be the chamber remaining, and that's Johnny Silverhand. Got a good position, watching for the jump peak. They spot it out. The pings are about to come through. The stick comes through. You gotta hit this. Johnny misses. Johnny peeks around. Johnny gets another one. The stick is still coming through, and they go all the way. Johnny Silverhand does his best, but can't get the jet. Javster misses a couple shots, but gets it done in the end regardless.
Tour de force. I think there was a really like a split second. There could have been a collat there, Wes. Did you see that on the left side there?
It looked like a collat. I was so ready. I was prepping my vocal cords to scream about a collat, but it didn't happen, dude. I don't think he even hit
away,
that.
Man.
It looked so close.
I have to be honest. I was kind of shocked it didn't happen too.
Me too. Yeah.
I was poised and ready to be hollering and harring about it too, but no such luck for Johnny Silverhand. Gotta be honest. Johnny's been so unfortunate, unlucky really, if you will, in the Valorant term. These situations have been so close, takes out 2 of the 3 in the 1 versus 3.
Yeah.
Cannot attain victory.
Look at this setup. Delaware, instead of putting anybody on A, they've taken full mid control. They're pushing all the way up on the flank. They actually still don't have anybody on A. So now Relay is going to be revealed, and so they're going to leave one to peek to remain on that flank. As a matter of fact, Marist just goes straight in. Now they got to peek the flank, but they got to start to be confused. Like, where is everybody?
Where is everybody indeed? You see the null CMD go down, just a deterrent, an attempt at a deterrent at least, but the deterrent is deterred and ushered away.
Round ball pounces on Yellow Bros there. Kingpin now alone with a fallen Argos, and there he goes. That's Safety to finish it off. And yeah, you know, they pull it. That's the A defense that you never saw coming, Kappa, is the 3-agent flank through mid.
I'm shaking my head because those are the kind of strats you can't predict. Like, how did you predict that? That's such an out-of-the-box play.
Argos must have been losing his mind when he peeked around that corner. It's like, no, there's 3 flankers.
There's 3? 3? What? What are you doing? And if you can do those kind of plays and you can make a player that just popped their ult, question mark, why did I use my ult? You're doing the right thing. And that was what was lacking for Delaware in map number 1. The creativity. Now, it's oozing out of every orifice. And I think if they continue this way, it's going to be a very easy half for them. And Jav hit up shots like that. Let's go, baby.
Need to keep hitting him. Lucky just shoulder peeks into it. Easiest shot of Javster's night. And Yellow Bros continuing to find so much pressure here, but this time Relay is ready, just pounces right on it. And yeah, like I said, I like Yellow Bros' ability to take position and to continue to sneak up, but it only takes you so far. If you're gonna get fragged, if you're not gonna get value out of it or not gonna use that information, you may as well have not gotten it at all.
Seekers, 1 HP for KO. That's make that 0 HP.
Spike down.
Javster closes it out. You can tell. I feel like Javster's sitting back a little bit, you know? Feeling the rhythm, getting the vibe a little bit going. And Marist are definitely not. They want to break that vibe, break that momentum. 6-1 the other way around this time. Marist call a timeout and try to regroup.
Yeah, they're not vibing right now, straight up. And I chuckle at that because you said it as straight comes. No one expects any less from you, Wes Rambo. A straight shooter, and that's something you've got to be a straight shooter for on the team as a lineup as well. Asking those questions. This is not working. We are not having a good time. Last map didn't go to plan, but what is going to go to plan for our map right here, right now? I'm going to get straight down to meat and potatoes of it, not going to beat around the bush. We need to see a commitment to a site. We saw some commitments early. We saw some close rounds happen. We haven't really seen anything since that 1 round they've achieved. So just get into sight and see what happens. Sure, the A play, the 3-player flank, that's a really hard factor to predict. But outside of that, you've got to get yourself onto site. Otherwise, you're just not going to have a half.
I might have to give a second opinion, even a little counter-diagnosis here, because they're running this same default, right, Marist? I get what you mean about them having to commit, but they are playing far forward in mid, and I think that you can. I think you can use more of the time in the round, right? I think that you can play a little more of a loose, passive default. Delaware are bound to get antsy. We've seen it already. Javster's getting more and more confident. Use that confidence against them by waiting for that over-aggressive peak. Marist was able to do it on Ascent for sure in a number of rounds. That might be the ticket, right? But instead, they are going to go. They're going to be the ones going impatient. Johnny Silverhand just walks out into the crosshairs. That is not a good sign, honestly. It's not just the play; it's the implication of the play that you don't want to see. Yeah,
it's the general posture. If you're posturing to make a play like that, A, out of options, or B, the tilt's starting to ascend onto you. That's it. It's one of the two, right? Or you're starting to tilt, ascend towards the tilt, I should say.
But you got to remember, Marist's rounds on Ascent were not just a fluke, you know? They were getting those rounds for real, tangible reasons, and those reasons remain on this team. So keep your eye out on Marist, the way they switch things up after this timeout. One round after a timeout is not always going to be the instant change, right? Kingpin now has headed up towards B and already faked the plant to grab the kill onto John. It's 4 versus 3, and Marist might have found some way in. 3 players to retake. And retaking B in this particular situation can be very, very difficult. Roundballa going around the corner, and it's Yellow Bros to find the kill. Relay to trade, but 3 versus 2 situation.
It's a 3 versus 2, and let's not forget Kingpin. Just the live fear for Marist had a banger, a scorcher for first game. Argos, let's pick up a frag too. Jab might be the problem, might be the solution, in fact. Oh, Jump Burst Classic to finish things off here. A exceptionally quiet first game, but I tell you something for free Wes. This second game, Jab is loud.
Jab is on point, 7-1 for Delaware. And yeah, Marist looked like they had found a way in. Such a good setup there, but they were all just collapsed onto that site, surrounded by the retakers, and it just took some heroics. We talked about Delaware needing to find the firepower. Look at this. Jabster, what a redemption story so far already in this series. 12 frags, top of the scoreboard, top of the server, after getting like 6 kills the entire Ascent map. That is gorgeous.
That is a success story that you love to see. You love to be reading about, love to be a witness to, especially for a Jet. It's a hit or miss agent, right? You're having a good game or you're not. Same for Reyna. You're fragging or you're not. And if you're not, you are going to be feeling bad, man. Not at all the lights of Jet for this game. Think of the past, what happened on the Ascent. Argos.
Swarm grenade out.
They're out on C. Flooded, they're swarming through, but the defense is too strong.
Down, C.
Too strong to give them an advantage, but they have control of the site. They paid a heavy price, and now it's Relay to flank. Relay sprays down, pull down that crosshair. Yellow Bros is the last to fall, 8-1 for Delaware. And yeah, they're just, it takes them so much. They're giving up so many resources just to access a site. Never mind play the post-plant Cuppa.
So now, at this point in the game, okay, we've got a few rounds deeper after that timeout. Back to the coach's corner. I actually want to reiterate what you said with regards to maybe playing it a bit slower, maybe going back to some sort of reserve plays, because you're right. They've tried some further aggression. It's not working. And at this stage, you've got to try something else. Last chance result, last chance saloon. It's here for you right now.
But it's more aggression is the decision here. Now, this is a more of an eco round, so fair enough. Just try to get that plant. Jabster's in a lot of trouble, and Johnny Silverhand has got the hot hands coming in, but there go the frags. It's the spike being planted. That's really all that Marist were looking for there. So a kill and a plant, a little bit of money in the bank, and get yourself some guns next round. You need to get that 9-3 half. There is just no other way. It is dire for Marist right now.
It is dire for Marist. They've had a lot of close rounds, though, to give them credit. To give the utmost credit. We've seen plays on A, we've seen plays on B, we've saw that rotation in pistol rounds, right? That's the kind of level of commitment we've seen from Marist to try and be creative to make this game happen. Nothing's working. I want to say they've almost exhausted the strat, but here, A, looking to be their final attempts here. Try and double up on those rounds.
Relay. Oh, are you going to check this? This is just, don't do it to him, Relay. Somehow you just know. Hang on, Yellow Bros goes for it. Nope, not good enough. No. Relay going to go for 1. Relay trying to find 2. Relay continuing to play with their food, but Lucky ends up making the hunter into the hunted in that situation. Yeah, Argos is down as well. Ultimate is coming through. Kingpin wants to bait the res, as actually another res comes through. Yellow Bros is the one who is still alive. Javster, where did you find that kill? Heaven is the position. Johnny Silverhand looking for a flank. Johnny Silverhand has a chance! The trade does come through. 3 versus 3. It's a tough miss from Johnny, but Kingpin is there to trade, and they're going to sprint towards that C site.
Everyone's sprinting. It's going to be a full house, all 6 players. To be crowded on C-site, the nano swarms prevent the push. Push them back just for a little bit, running through the remainders of that nano.
30 seconds left.
What's that quintessential round here for Marist, Wes?
So the lockdown coming in here is interesting, but all these players going back to long isn't too bad of a situation for them. They can all jiggle this. It's difficult to defend this, but not at all impossible. So the question is, do you get presence towards mid? And indeed, Yellow Bros is going. Yellow Bros is headed towards that mid position, but will it be too late? The defuse is already coming through. The defuse is getting stuck. The defuse is getting stuck. And here comes Yellow Bros, but he's too late. It's the defenders taking him down as Delaware hold their nerve and get a 10th round for themselves.
Marist, such a brave attempt to go for that flank. That's what we saw like work previously, right? Was those sort of plays from Kingpin. And if you put the clock back on this game, even the first game, the flanks have been the crux that have taken Delaware, or taken rounds away from Delaware. But for this game, they've adapted, and that adaptation story is only told by Delaware. For poor Marist, they just haven't been able to find a strat that's going to counterplay.
Relay coming in with the showstopper, takes it out. Relay, how did you get that kill? And gets traded by Johnny Silverhand, but Relay gets a freebie right there, switches back to the rifle and finds the kill. Here's Argos to trade in, and now it's a 4 versus 3. They've gotten control of Garage. They're looking for C in general here. Brown Baller gets taken down as well. Marist has their best shot so far of winning a round since that first one they got so long ago. And they are so careful right now, so cautious. Javster gets caught. Marist looks like they're going to get more than one in the half after all. Safety has pulled out some clutches already, but this would be another story altogether.
Spike planted.
Through the nebula. The fire in the flames. Great play. Straight up into the eye. Small bit for Grimplay to finish things up. But it is going to be Marist to seal the deal. 10-2 at the half. Delaware map in the bag. They're on away territory, away grounds right now. And Marist, they've got to welcome their guests as defenders and show him some hospitality of what the defender's side looks like. Get some rounds in the bag.
And this just couldn't be more different from any other match we've seen today. It's been so dominant, pardon me, from Delaware. After you expected that, wow, you know, they had to dig so deep, it felt like, for that Ascent win. They had to get their second win. They had to get everything going correct. Now, it just looks like a completely different matchup over here on Haven, with Javster popping off, kind of joining Relay up there at the top of the scoreboard with these ridiculous kills. And it's Marist who are way on the back foot right now.
That's all. Goodness me, I'll leave that for later. That comment. Javster gets the entry, Ghost to the face, 45 HP, still some abilities to see, get the second. The tap from the Ghost gets another.
This is starting to get a little bit inappropriate to watch. Mature audiences only, as Delaware are starting to do some unspeakable things to Marist College right now. Zafady finds Kingpin and Relay, the last player to find a frag. Argos goes down as well. A flawless pistol round for Delaware, just continuing that momentum. And Marist did not get value out of their timeout that we see on the scoreboard the way Delaware did on Ascent. That is for dang sure, man.
Saying this with the utmost respect as well, it's just a matter of Delaware working the map. They absolutely have owned the map of Haven, not because of lack of effort from Marist. I've gone back to this a couple of times to reiterate, it's a two-sided story. We have seen so many different strats. I think the most counter strats I've seen an attempt from a team to try and make something happen.
Look at this, look at this.
C-push.
C-push completely unimpeded. It's Argos only anywhere near. Goes out with the shorty, doesn't find anything. There's the 4-spy. Johnny Silverhand and the rest of the squad are coming back around. Kingpin gets healed up, but yeah, it seems almost impossible. There's a classic kill from Kingpin. Zafady sprays a couple of them down. Yellow Bros has to switch to the classic, the better long-range weapon in his arsenal right now. And it's only Johnny Silverhand left. And Johnny is not long for this world. There's the headshot coming through. 4 players remain. Match point, University of Delaware.
Match point.
Ready to eliminate Marist from the Power Series right here, right now. It comes down to this gun round.
I don't see this going anyway, but Delaware's way at this point. Morale's got to be boomed for the likes of Marist. I say that, though, they do have a couple of rifles to take to battle here. 2 Vandals, a triple Spectre setup, far from ideal. Keeping it real. They've got something to bring to the fight here. Ice will take it out immediately. It's really going to take the utmost special play. It's not even relay.
That's not good. Not a good sign there for Marist as Johnny Silverhand goes down as well. Satchel's in. Relays just owns this map right now. You mentioned the power of the Rays, but all we've seen is just gunfire, you know. Showstoppers, paint shells haven't been the difference makers here. Been headshots. Argos here on the judge. How do you approach this site in the 3 versus 5 retake right now?
Last player standing.
Oh,
With a lot of
Jabster
hope.
opened himself up to the trade, but doesn't quite happen. And then knife to finish it off. Don't do it to them. Oh, Marist is embarrassed right now.
You know,
and
with a shank to the back like that.
That's Delaware. Blue Hens coming home to roost in the quarterfinals. They will eliminate Marist from this event, and they will move on to those semi-finals. Congratulations to Blue Hens. But, you know, yeah, Marist really collapsed in the end. And it was so impressive what we saw on Ascent, right? You know, Marist was doing so well in that first half. Honestly,
Yeah.
Kappa, I was in my head, I was like, is this going to be a quick 2-0 for Marist? Like, that is what I was thinking when we saw the first half of Ascent. We know they brought some really, really impressive stuff to the table, but they just completely ran out of steam. And I don't know what kind of second gear Blue Hens brought out.
I think there was a bit of demoralization happening to that second map.
Yeah.
And as we mentioned, right, if you've got a dominant victory in your first map, then it just all falls apart. Your morale falls apart with that as well, or it can. Saying that, though, the mentality that they brought into game number 1 from pistol rounds, counter rotation, that was, if that pistol round had gone differently, who knows? Who knows how Haven could have gone? And that is the kind of impact that Marist still tried to make on map number 2. But too dominant is going to be Delaware. And it just came down to confidence and ego peaks. There were so many ego peaks being made by the likes of Delaware. And guess what? They weren't missing shots. They were not missing shots. Jav wasn't the top frag there, but Jav made such a sensational supporting appearance in that second map that we didn't see in map number 1 as well. And I think that might be a contributing factor why it seemed a little bit more one-sided in map number 2. Because for Ascent, it was all about sort of relay only. There wasn't really too much presence otherwise.
Yeah, no question about it. Well, we will be back in just a sec. We're going to do an interview with one of those players from Delaware, and we're going to take a quick break right before that, so don't go anywhere. We'll see you soon.